I am convinced that my scrapbooking has magical, mystical powers because on this day that I was playing with the brand new December 2023 hip kits with all the beautiful snowy snowflakes and blues and purples, it actually snowed a huge snowstorm at my house. Hi guys, I'm Jana Eubank. I'm so excited to create this layout today. And we haven't had snow very much this year, which was kind of weird to have a Christmas without very much snow. Sure, we had a few snowstorms, but nothing that really stuck. So we got a huge blizzard on this day. And yeah, I think our scrapbooking has more power than we realize. No, I'm joking here. But I'm going to be scrapbooking these photos of my son today. Him and my husband often go snowboarding at the local ski resorts. And so once in a while, they will send me some snapshots, and I'm so excited to be able to work with those today. I don't get out in the snow very much because, those are the kinds of days that I stay inside and scrapbook. And like on this particular snowy day, I am scrapbooking inside, cozy in my office with, some hot cocoa nearby. It's fantastic. I love scrappy, cozy weather. So I'm starting with this minty starburst pattern paper in the background, which I love. It's almost like a Bethlehem star, like little twinkly stars, right? But it also has a very snowy feeling. So I love the way that the colors look there. And then I decided to map my photos on some of that plaid paper. Now, initially I was going to do two different patterns or two different mats for the two different photos, but I decided that I love that plaid so much that I'm going to have it stretch across and kind of use that as my anchoring point. The next thing I'm going to do is build sort of a plus sign base for these photos. So I'm going to add a cross section of some layered strips. I'm using the navy snowflake paper that came in the kit, and then I'm going to use the opposite side of that plaid paper, which is that red pine sprig paper, and just start layering these up. I also grabbed another strip. This is a branding strip from another pattern paper that just has a light blue pattern on it, like a tile type pattern on it. And so I loved layering these up together. I love how it ties into that blue in the background, but also the different colors of blue that are in the title. Now, after I had that plus sign created, I decided that I wanted one more layer in the background to just really build that out. And so I tried on a few of the 12 by 12 papers, but I ended up going with one of the 6 by 8 papers from the Pocket Life kit. This swirl paper it's kind of a pink coral color. It was the perfect color to just anchor everything and balance out all the blues. Now I'm going to use that Winter Adventures die cut as my title, and I love that it has kind of a curve on the bottom of those words that matches the curve of the mountains in my photo. So I'm really loving the way that frames the mountains and kind of nestles right in there. Now the next pattern paper this is one of my favorite pattern papers from the kit. I was drawn to this paper immediately, and I knew that I was going to fussy cut these out. This paper has sort of a kaleidoscope flower on it, or a kaleidoscope type snowflake. And so I'm going to sprinkle these down the center of my plus sign design and then come in with more of these snowflakes. So this 2x2 snowflake stamp is adorable. I love the little loopy arms it has on it. And so I decided to stamp these using the ombre ink pad that came in the color kit. This ink pad has blue and purple and pink, and I love it because there's 3 little separate sections of the ink pad. They don't touch each other, but when you kind of tap your stamp onto them, then the inks sort of run and blend into each other. So you could use that ink pad like this, where you have an ombre effect of those 3 different colors, but also if you have smaller stamps, you actually can stamp on those 3 different sections individually and create, letters or phrases, for example, with the Pocket Life stamp in those 3 different colors. So I think that's really cool. So I'm loving the way that this column of snowflakes is building in between these 2 photos. But I did want to add an additional layer above the right hand side where my title is. So I decided to fussy cut out this tag. It's kind of that same purpley color that's in the kaleidoscope flowers, and I'm going to tuck that in there just to add an additional layer, a pop of color, and also kind of build out the area where I'm going to anchor that title a little bit more. So I just grabbed some thin crochet twine for my stash. I have a double length of it here, and I'm just going to tie a little bow right there to add some softness to the page, and then I'm going to continue on with the design. Now on the left hand side of my page, I felt like it needed some embellishing to balance out the title on the right hand side, and so I'm flipping through the die cuts here from the main kit, and I found this cutest little square piece that says "Let It Snow," but what you can't see right here is that across the top of that piece are little holes that are punched, almost like a notebook. So I will be popping those out and actually threading that with some thread, or the same crochet thread, in just a minute. But while I was flipping through the die cuts, I went through the chipboard die cuts, and I found all these little cute little tiny chipboard circles. So I'm going to add additional embellishing to these snowflakes and kaleidoscope flowers and add one of those chipboard circles to the center of each of those. And I love the variety of colors. You've got red, pink, blue. I love it. So I also wanted to pull in some of the floral die cuts, not specifically the florals, but the pine branches and the leaf branches, because here they are at the ski resort, and there's always beautiful pine trees, snowy pine trees, and so I thought that would be a fun addition to just add again an organic feel to these snowflakes that are falling down the page. So back over to this little square piece, I inked up the edges with some gray ink, and I will thread that in a minute. I thought I was going to do that next, but apparently I'm looking for something to go to the right of the title. So I'm flipping through the sticker book. I find this little pine sprig, which I do tuck behind that square. I think that's good to add a little bit of the branches over there on the left, and I'm also going to add one of these purple puffy sticker flowers that kind of balances out not only the purple in the snowflakes, but also the purple in the tag that is on the opposite side. I will also add in a few berries. I believe I'm still looking for something to go to the right of that title, so I'm just trying on a few things. I thought I might do skates. I thought I might do these postage stamp shapes, which are super cute, by the way. I love those. But I don't know, the little penguins and things, which are darling, just didn't quite have the vibe that I wanted, so I did settle on this little bird. I thought it went with the organic feel of the snowflakes and the pine branches that I already had going, and so I am going to take my scissors and just trim down the offset white border on these just a little bit. I like to do that sometimes, just if I want to show more color from what's happening on the background. So I did do that with the pine sprigs and this little bird, and I like the way that that looks. So now we're turning our attention over to this little piece that I've been talking about, which is this little spiral notebook piece. And oh my gosh, I don't know, I just love that. I also love the way that this square piece actually layers in with the background layers. So we have some little step downs happening with those different layers in the background, and that square just kind of continues that little step down towards the left and just nestles in there perfectly. Now, as I was going through the puffy stickers, I wanted to add like some more navy, kind of to balance the darker colors of my son's outfit in his in the left photo. And so I grabbed that navy piece. I think it says something about being indoors. Oh, loving being indoors. I don't know, I guess I didn't read it very well because I thought it said loving being outdoors. And so I didn't realize it said indoors until I went to stitch this page, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that doesn't even match. So I will be peeling that off in a second, but I also did that red sticker that says winter plans. So I really love, if you know me, I love to matte my backgrounds. I just feel like it frames out the page really nicely. So I did add the sled red cardstock to frame out this piece. I also added some stitching, and then I actually added in some zigzag details, some zigzag stitching details across the top of that plaid paper on the top right corner and then the bottom left corner. And I like that ties into the crochet twine. Okay, so that's where I switch out that navy phrase to the Remember This foam phrase from the main kit. And that is better than the indoor phrase. Finally, which I did not show on camera, but I did add the pearl stickers from the embellishment kit to all of these snowflakes and just a little sprinkling here and there. I also stapled my layout in a few places just to add a boyish touch, and I love the way the silver looks with these papers. So I love this page. I hope you enjoyed watching the process. My name is Jana Eubank for Hip Kit Club. We'll see you in my next video. Thanks for joining me. Thank you.